Hi, I'm Helen Walton, and I run a conference called Spark the Change. Spark the Change is running for its second year in London. It's going to be on the 1st and 2nd this July. It's going to be a fantastic event. It was last year, and I have to say, I think the program is even better and more exciting this year. These are some of the best leaders and writers on management today. You also get to meet some very exciting people from all across the business and from all types of industries. And finally, and most importantly, we have over 17 workshops that are all about the practical skills that you need to make lasting change happen within your organization. And indeed, we've got the leader of one of those workshops here to talk today, and that's Kamala Katbamna, who runs Chirp, which is an organization helping people lead, communicate, and collaborate with impact through singing and vocal skills. I've taken part in two workshops with Kamala now, and they've been enormous fun, and have also really changed, I think, how I communicate. When we first met, Kamala, one of the things you said to me was that it was really important for leaders to think about their physical presence. I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that now.
For a lot of us, we think about the content of what we're saying. We think about the key messages and the words, but we don't often think enough about how we're delivering those words. And actually, words alone aren't really enough to bring people on board, to have them buy into your vision. You need to align what you're saying with how you're delivering it. So it's not just about what you think, it's not just about the words that you're saying, it's about the way that you're saying them, the tone of voice, the expression, and also your body language. It's really, really critical, I think, if you want your message to land and to be really effective and to be understood and to be responded to. I think how you are is just as important as what you say. I think it's really important to be able to pick up on the signals that other people are sending out. I'm sure all of us at some point have been in a meeting where the words coming out of someone's mouth are in no way mirrored by their body language, and you sit there going, do you really think that? I'm kind of not getting it.
It's extremely true. It's interesting for me because there's a whole lot of that that's very unconscious. We actually don't think about the impact we have on others. What are the things that change the impact that we have through your physicality in communication?
So I suppose I would say that there are a few things that are really key. So how we breathe has an enormous impact on our speech, particularly, but also on how we stand. And again, that's the second thing. Posture is really important. I think particularly when we feel a bit challenged or under pressure, we tend to shrug our shoulders up and they come forward a little bit and we look very hunched. Sometimes clients I work with, when I get them to do a run through of a presentation, they'll sort of end up standing almost on one leg, so they're slightly off kilter and they look quite like they're either going to fall over or run away. And of course, those messages that we're sending out are sort of saying, I don't really want to be here, I'm not really sure of what I'm saying, I'm not sure I believe it. And so actually being aware of your posture, bringing your shoulders back, taking up some space, signals to other people that what you're saying is worthwhile, it's worth engaging with. But the other really key thing about posture is that it also feeds messages back to you. So I think quite often we kind of have a sense that body language is important, it tells other people things about us, but actually our body language has a biochemical effect on us. So Amy Cuddy, who's a Harvard researcher, has done lots of work on power poses and on how a particular posture actually changes your levels of cortisol and testosterone, and so it impacts really directly on both your stress levels and on how effective you are. I get people to think about their breathing and to breathe abdominally, so you're breathing into the belly effectively. Obviously you're breathing into your lungs, but you're sending it as low down as you can. And that feels quite strange to people, even though they're conscious of being able to take in more air and then being able to speak more clearly because the breath is supporting their words and their speech. And I think, but all of those things do feel they can feel effective straight away, and they can also feel really odd to begin with. And I think they take quite a lot of practice. And one thing I do with organisations is get them to inhabit a position that's quite extreme in lots of ways. So when we're doing something about body language, I'll get them to do, and I've done this with you, Helen, really over the top, kind of crazy gesturing and expression to make a point. And it's almost that you have to go to quite an extreme place and then pull back from it to find a place that you can inhabit comfortably. And the point of doing that is that if you don't do it at all, you probably won't move that far forward. But if you go somewhere quite extreme as a practice, and then you come back from it, then you can find a place that works for you, but is further on from where you were to begin with. Sometimes people are telling you a very important message in their body language that you need to pay attention to. So you're listening not only to their words, but, as it were, listening to their posture and to listening to what they're not saying. But also, for leaders, I think it's really important for them to be aware of what their body language is sending out. Perhaps someone very senior will come past you and say well done, but they won't make eye contact, and they won't really pause, and they won't smile, and so you sort of don't really feel like they meant it, or that they were really engaged with you. And actually they might have really meant it, but they're not communicating that message effectively. It's not landing. It leaves quite a lot of room for doubt. And so it's sort of, you know, whether you're picking up on what's not said in a positive way because that's giving you really useful data, or whether you're the person who needs to be aware of what you're accidentally saying, perhaps. You know, but either way, the body language, I think, is really, really important. I'm interested in how we can be more aligned in what we do. So how there's a line of connection between what you think, what you say, how you say it, and how you embody it.
That brings me on to your session, which is really about how we lead through the body.
Leaders need to, if you want someone to buy into your vision, if you tell them to do it, they might do it, they might not do it. But if you can engage them to share in your vision because they want to do it for themselves, you'll probably get a much better outcome with fewer mistakes and, you know, and greater clarity. In terms of working with a room of people and engaging them to deliver my vision and to believe in it for themselves and to come with me on that journey, that's something that we can do, and it involves not just your words, but it involves your whole body. So it's not enough to tell people. You need to be what you want to see back. So in your tone of voice, in your facial expression, in how you hold your body. Of course, conducting involves lots of gestures. That's a huge part of it as well.
Kamala's workshop is amazing, but I have to say it has very limited spaces. Those of you who are coming to Spark, go to the website, sparkthechange.co.uk. You can register and book your tickets now, and when you do so, make sure you definitely book a place on Kamala's workshop, Conducting the Choir and Learning to Lead Through the Body. And everyone, I very much look forward to seeing you at Spark.